I hate this corona. You're gonna wash your goddamn hands and make sure you don't spread this virus anymore. And welcome to the Think Different podcast. Wait a minute, the pizza about to pick up. Tim and Chris are watching me. Go around, yeah. I hate this damn virus. Welcome to the Think Different podcast. It is back once again for another week, and boy, so much has changed in 1 week since our last episode. Now, we record on Wednesdays, and we release our episodes on Friday. So much happened on Friday that we didn't talk about, and here we are a week later, and we're pretty much all stuck in our houses and not going anywhere except to buy lots and lots of toilet paper. No water, no meat, just toilet paper. So what's great is we have a three-man crew once more time. So we want to welcome back Chris again to the podcast. Thank you, Chris, for coming back and joining us.
Hello. Yes, I'm happy to be here again. I wish it was under better circumstances than a world-destroying virus. Yeah.
And speaking of viruses, ladies and gentlemen, Vacation Tim's here.
That was kind of mean.
By the way, Chris has segue every time to get me to say something terrible about you right before we introduce you. So last week was about cancellation, and this week was about the virus.
Be a leader, not a follower, Will.
All right, but before we get started to everything that's going on, Tim, what did you buy this week for your house?
Oh, I got a grill cover, a Yankees grill cover.
Wait, so you're piggybacking off of last week's?
Yeah, I gotta add on to it. So I got a grill cover, a Yankees grill cover, and then I got
of course you did
a Houston Texans fork. It's kind of like a grill set. So I got that, and then yeah, that's it.
Yeah, are you still getting over the terrible news today about Hopkins? Are you still getting rid of that?
Let's just not talk about it.
Okay.
I have a lot of choice words.
I mean, think about it. We also in the middle of this week, you had Tom Brady leaving, going to the Bucks. Yep. Which is like the weirdest thing.
Weird.
It is the weirdest thing.
I don't like football, but that's just like that's like when Jordan went to go play baseball.
Right.
Type of weird.
It is so weird. Like Tom Hanks getting coronavirus is like, okay, I can see that coming, but not with what happened, the transaction with Tom Brady. And by the way, I'm so glad that he's recovering. That is the important thing.
Yeah, he's doing
fine.
good. His
wife's doing fine.
And then Rita Wilson's there too, but
have
you
you
really care about that.
Have you guys seen Tom Hanks' other son?
Yeah, he's jacked.
He's a weirdo.
Yeah,
he's a weirdo.
I mean, I don't say he's weird.
Dude,
he's
we're
different.
doing well, that fits into our theme. So it works out.
I think he's different. Thinking different.
And speaking of thinking different, make sure you follow us all on our social media channels. That's right. We have 3 of them: Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And check us out. Now, before we get started into today's episode, a lot of stuff happened in the week, but also some good stuff happened, which we're going to open up with our entire podcast. But I have to say, today, I visited New York City today. I had to go into the city mad early because my bus schedule got really messed up. There's barely any buses moving. It's very weird to see a very half-empty bus of people going up to New York. I took a picture of New York today in Times Square where there's literally like nobody there. And, you pass by all these businesses with all these signs saying, due to this, due to that, we're not open. And I went into a Dunkin' Donuts today because that was the only thing that was open because it's one of those smaller ones where you can't sit down at. So they were open. I grabbed the coffee, got out of there. And then I'm just hanging out in my office the entire day. But because of the field I'm in, especially IT, there's a lot of people, we as a company that I work for, you have to keep moving. It's entertainment business. It doesn't stop. No entertainment business is stopping. And we have to keep moving along. And we have to make sure everybody has a machine that can't come into the office. So we are the backbone of getting this all going. Even the facilities crew, maintaining everything there, cleaning everything,
there's a few essential people to companies, and you're really figuring out who they are now.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it now. When you think about people who work at the grocery, they're dealing with this every single day where they're unpacking food, they're touching customer stuff, who knows what they'll get, based on doing all that. There's a lot of heroes that I hope people realize, and not to say I'm a hero, but I'm just saying, I'm risking my life going on a public bus, dealing with their public air filtration system, and, working to get these people, because we know now we're going to be home for a while. And this is like the newest version of me of 9/11, but, without like the pain and suffering. It's more like just like the weird feel about
for
it.
now, and I hope it doesn't happen,
Right.
Yeah.
And it's there for some people, but, right now we're lucky. And I just hope that everybody realizes the seriousness of it, and that, when they tell you to stay home, just stay home. If I have to go into work once a week, okay, I have no choice. Until New York is shut down to where no one can get into any building, this is, I still have to go to work. You guys are working from home, which is lucky for you that you get to be doing that,
and that's, kind of for me.
And for Chris, especially, and this is the weirdest thing for him, because he's about to have a child in the middle of this.
Yeah.
And you're about to go to a hospital that's dealing with possible, patients dealing with this. And what kind of restriction it's going to have for you as a new father.
There's no visitors, period. I can be in the room when she delivers, and that's it.
Wow.
Right.
There's no other visitors in the hospital at all. And basically when she gives birth, as soon as we can get out of there, I want to get out of there.
Yeah.
Yes, obviously having a child, all that kind of stuff is super, important to be maintained in a hospital. I want to make sure you don't become part of a statistic of a failed childbirth, that kind of stuff, right? But at the same time, there's so many, if this isn't handled correctly, that hospital could be overran extremely quickly, which I'm happy that people are finally starting to understand what flatten the curve means, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
And think about all sports are all done. I mean, bowling could still happen. I think bowling should definitely be happening. WrestleMania got changed from an 80,000 venue to an empty performance center, which is now like 2 days long because they can't have more than 50 people inside of, one spot. So they have to make it 2 days, which is weird for me as a wrestling fan. That is just like unprecedented. That WrestleMania. Imagine having the Super Bowl with no fans there, Tim.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's just like it's just like, all these people are out of work. Disney's closed.
Yeah, Disney's closed. Like, wow.
Watching aerial footage of an empty day, at Disney is just weird.
Yeah. I remember watching one of the international soccer games with the empty stadium, and the players were still cheering as if there was fans, like in the stands. They would still do like their theatrical performance after they score a goal, as if their fans were there. But it's just kind of eerie to see like a live event with nobody there.
Yeah, and I'm watching the last 2 weeks. Last week I've been watching wrestling shows with nobody there. It's like, how do you feed off that? You know, and I do wrestling for a living. I don't know how. I mean, I've been in front of no crowd, which is fine because I've been used to something like that. But on a global scale like that,
sure,
yeah, it's weird. So this is definitely a different time, that we're dealing with right now. We're all dealing with different ways, but to me, it sounds like this is gonna be here. I think 2 months at least. That
until
we're gonna
beginning of June.
Yeah, I mean, imagine our summers where we can't go to a beach. We live on the shore.
And I think there was a big problem with a lot of college students that just didn't care.
They don't care,
and still went to the beach.
But that's also the county's fault for allowing that, because they should.
Right, that needs to be shut down.
Yes, and there was what he's talking about in Florida. There was a beach with tons of spring breakers on it. No disregard for anything that was going on. And this is where, President Trump talks about the millennials are the only way this is going to stop, because they're the ones that want to go out, and that's understandable. I'm a millennial. I think we all are. I don't know about y'all, but I think you're all a little bit younger. But, I fall into that category, and I'm just like, I've been staying home. I didn't go out all weekend. I cooked from home.
I think the most important thing here, and I would say 2 weeks ago, there was definitely a difference between news medias saying what to do, right? There was the news media that I won't say that said it wasn't a problem. There was no issue. Go on about your day. And then there was the other one saying it. And then there was the other side, which was, kind of freak out, right? And just now, finally, all the news organizations are reaching the point where they're just like, hey, we all need to go work from home if you can, wash your hands, be, like smart about this.
Yeah.
Just which is good. It was
the faster we all stay inside, the faster this is over.
Yeah, exactly. If everybody was inside their home for a month, and no one went in contact with each other, this thing could die very fast. But that's hard to do in this kind of place, in this kind of country where there's just so much misinformation about this. I still see people that are like, use some salt water and gargle and you kill the virus. I'm like, that's not how any of this works. Like, let's
gargle that bleach, baby.
Like, just respect the scientists, respect the healthcare professionals that are telling you what to do, and actually do what they say. They studied their entire life for this. Respect what they're saying.
Yep.
I mean, Tim, I want to ask you, and I was going to ask each of, and we kind of talked about Chris about it, but what has it done for you effectively wise? What has it done for you? Anything that you had to cancel? Anything that has kind of changed with you? Sure.
So I think I'm a partial season ticket holder for the New York Yankees.
And you're a vacationer.
Yeah. And so I have about 7 games right now because I have the Sunday package, so I have every Sunday game for the entire season. And I have about 7 games that will be affected by the MLB season, including I had tickets to opening day that will be affected by the MLB season being pushed back. I had 2 conferences. I was supposed to go to San Diego and San Antonio for my job. Those were also canceled. Yeah. That's real. I can't go to the gym anymore. My gym's closed. So I've been running every day.
Wait a minute. You run in public?
Yeah, I'll be honest. Everyone is outside running around. Like,
hear me out. Get something, right, that goes underneath your desk that you can cycle on.
Wait a minute. Do you have something like that, Chris, for sale?
Well, as it turns out, I do. It's called a cycling.
Yeah, I need to get... Where'd you get that, by the way?
Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah,
Amazon.
Of course you got it from Amazon.
Well, Amazon Amazon is kind of stopping their shipments to their warehouses, right?
Well,
except essential items.
It's kind of reduced.
They're not really priming it anymore. Like, the Prime, I think, is kind of like...
Yeah, Prime is normal shipping
right now.
So there's 2 different brands, and just to get off topic for 30 seconds, there's 2 different brands. There's Cycly, and there's another one that is health kit enabled. Cycly can also attach to your home kit. They're both good. I both recommend them, but Cycly is 1/4 the price.
They attach to the home kit?
So, yeah, every time I start cycling, it automatically gets into my health data.
What?
Yeah, and I think it was like $90, so I'm like, that's easy.
That's a good purchase. For me, I had 2 weddings that I was supposed to film. And one was supposed to be filmed in the next day or 2. They called me up Monday night. This is great. So on Monday they called me and said, "Hey, we're getting married in Westfield." Now they're about, I would say, a little more than an hour away from me. I get out at 5. They were getting married at 6. There was no way I could make that in time. Yeah. I called my friend Frank, who did my wedding photography, and I said, "This couple needs somebody. They're going to get married on the spot. They're just going for it." That day, they woke up and decided to go for it and just got married by a rabbi. And he took the job for like really dirt cheap just to help him out. It turns out News 12 was there and got caught wind of that ceremony, and they filmed the ceremony for them. And I just saw the news article this evening.
What? That's super cool.
So, and I was supposed to film that for them, but there was no way I could do it. So I recommended the guy Frank. News 12 got involved somehow. And now I am going to be filming their actual reception down in August. That's the expected date I'm going to be filming it. But boy, what a way to start. Like, I'm thinking wedding video wise, this is a cool way to kind of start a wedding video, is the fact that they have that. And I grabbed the video from their website, and it's pretty interesting, and this hurt me too. Like, for instance, there's a big loan that I have to pay for that I know I can't fully finish. So I had to put a stop on it, just for 1 month, just to kind of collect myself, to see where we are, because I was expecting to get this amount of money and now I'm not. So it affected me big time. I had to stop one loan payment, which, it's not going to kill me, but, know, I'm going to start up. I'm going to start up next month, again, once we figure everything out, because down the line, we all work. So the good thing is we're all getting paid. And if anything, hopefully this will maybe help us save money down the line.
Yeah. I think what's going to happen too is, I don't know if you know anybody that's retiring right now, but
what a horrible time.
What a terrible time to retire.
A good time to refinance your loans, though, by the way.
Yeah,
it is a great time for that.
Yeah, good time to refinance. Also a good time to buy into some stocks. However,
you have to have the money ready on the side for that, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I'm fortunate that my wife has taught me how to save money.
Oh, good.
Because I've been investing in things that are just dying right now in terms of stock.
I think we all are.
Yeah.
I think I hope everybody is doing some type of investment right now. If you can't afford it, obviously put it in savings, stick it there. It's what a lot of people should do. But I think that's also going to change people's financial plans because of this, right? Mm-hmm. You can't rely on the stock market now.
No.
I mean, right now I could pull money from my stock, but it's way undervalued. That's the problem.
There were 2 times you could have sold your stock for Apple, and that was in January of this year. It was an extremely good time, and October of the year before that. Those were the 2 best times to sell. I sold all mine in October of before, and it's rough. And it's Google, it's Apple, it's Facebook. And it's the other one that I'm forgetting about. But anyway,
Amazon?
There's another one I'm forgetting about. Amazon.
It's great. I invested in the Texas Roadhouse 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Look what that turned out. All the restaurants are closed.
Yeah, all restaurants are,
Yeah.
But
yeah, I feel bad for them too. They have to be on the delivery game.
It's not even everyone's in a delivery game now. That's probably the biggest thing. But even that's not 100% safe. You don't know how I'm hoping the workers are all wearing gloves. Now, by the way, they should all be wearing gloves to begin with, and any food. Being a former chef, that is something you should be doing. I do not.
People should be washing their hands more.
Well, I'm sure that's going to change a lot of people's habits around now. But this is the world we live in. It's going to be an interesting memory to talk about down the line. Mm-hmm. Hopefully it goes away sooner than we want to, and we can move on from it.
Vaccine, or it goes away, or both. Just something. We need something.
Let's
good.
put the bubble, like the Simpsons movie. Let's put the bubble over the entire United States. But actually, that'd probably be worse, because we'd all.
If you put a bubble.
If we go all into the bubble.
What a great decision to contain us worse.
Vacation Tim wants to put us all in one big incestuous bubble.
All right. Well, you know what? That's probably the longest opening we've ever done, only because there was just so much that happened in 1 week, and we wanted to update you on all of our lives. But now there are some great things that came out today that Tim is going to talk about, because Tim is ready for this segment, because he is always ready for the news.
The news? Question mark?
Hey, this is Adam Carolla from the Adam Carolla Show. BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your basketball wagering needs. Whether it's pro or college hoops, BetOnline has it all throughout the entire college and pro hoop season. BetOnline has up-to-the-minute odds, stats, trends you can follow all season long. Follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props as well. BetOnline is one of the world's best wagering platforms, anytime, anywhere, and you can follow from your desktop or your mobile device. So, head to the website today and become part of the team. BetOnline. BetOnline. The game starts here at BetOnline.
Breaking news.
Chris, can you replace him?
In the light of this pandemic, Apple released some new products. Some are
updated
exciting
products.
and some are not. So let's start with one that's not. Apple updates the Mac Mini with double the storage capacity in its standard configurations.
Wow, what else do they do?
No, nothing.
That's it.
That's it.
So now the 799 configuration now comes with 256 gigabytes of SSD storage, while the 1099 configuration features 512 gigabytes of storage. And those are standard. They're all sold in solid state storage with up to 2 terabytes of storage available for build to order purchases. You can order them live on Apple's website. And this was a refresh from October of 2018. They will ship in 1 business day. I'm speeding through this because it's not really exciting. They didn't update the processor or the graphics card. Why wouldn't you update the graphics card?
That's fine. Well, it's because
They don't.
they're just giving you more money because the most expensive part is the SSD on these guys. Anyway,
Right, but they could actually afford NVMe 1 terabyte for the price of what they're getting. So there's still a little bit of well, it's Apple.
Their butts-
That's all I
Yeah.
can say.
Their butt
It's still
heads.
Apple.
Yeah,
It's still
a little
Apple.
disappointing. But
Yeah.
new iPad Pro announced with the A12Z Bionic chip, Magic Keyboard with a trackpad. I'm going to butcher this. LiDAR scanner, is that how you pronounce it? Ultra wide camera, and more. Apple is claiming that it is faster and more powerful than most Windows PC laptops. The new Magic Keyboard accessory is built with a built-in trackpad. So the new camera on the iPad Pro features a 12 megapixel wide camera and a 10 megapixel ultra wide camera, very similar to the new lineup of the iPhones. And that will be adding into the iPad Pro family. Has a new A12Z Bionic chip, which supports an 8-core GPU, which will allow professionals working on the iPad Pro can edit 4K video and design 3D models because of this update. There's a 10-hour battery life, faster Wi-Fi, and an LTE that's 60% faster than the previous generation. The LiDAR scanner will measure the
I think it's
LiDAR.
LiDAR. It's
no.
I don't know.
It's
LiDAR?
never changed.
It's what? Whatever.
Say it again. What is it?
LiDAR. Blank scanner.
You know, like radar. Just take out the R and put an L.
Ladder. Let's pack it
Asian
up,
Tim,
folks.
everybody.
Oh God.
Measures the distance to surrounding objects up to 5 meters away and enables advanced experience with augmented reality. And it'll integrate with all new ARKit apps on the new iPad Pro. It's going to be pretty cool. I think the most exciting stuff is this new Magic Keyboard, in my opinion. It will have a viewing angle, a kind of a raised floating viewing angle for the iPad to sit on for up to 180 degrees, which is super cool. There's a backlit keys, scissor mechanism on the keyboard. Can you guys explain to me what 1 millimeter travel means?
That's how far down the key goes.
Awesome. And this Magic Keyboard, the only thing I don't like is the price. The keyboard will start at $299 for the 11-inch iPad Pro and $349 for the 12.9-inch iPad Pro. This will also work for the previous generation iPad Pros of the 11-inch and the 12.9-inch model.
Thank God for that. That's probably the best part of that.
But that's such a steep price for that keyboard.
It's
That's 30%
I
of
think-
the price of the iPad.
Right, and I think this is such a cool piece of hardware that doesn't have the software, is the problem with the iPad Pro. I love my iPad Pro. I just wish I had so many more professional apps that actually
Yeah.
took advantage
There's a-
of that.
Tim, you talked. How many times have I told you? I would love to video edit on an iPad Pro.
Oh,
They
God,
haven't
that'd be
given
wonderful.
me anything other than iMovie, which I could do, which is great, but it just doesn't give
No
me
Premiere.
what I need. No Premiere.
Yeah, there's no Premiere, right?
No. I mean, it's
we
missing.
need a
that.
Premiere.
And it can handle it, which is like the
Yep.
part that doesn't make any.
There's
damn
no
sense, Apple.
there's no
Because
Final
we know
Cut app?
Photoshop can.
No.
Nope.
There's a Logic one, but it's only meant to be a controller.
There's a Photoshop app,
There's a
and the Photoshop app uses all of that processor and GPU.
Mm-hmm.
So you know Adobe can do it.
Yeah.
I just don't understand it. I mean, but aside from the fact, this is a nice
It is
upgrade.
cool hardware.
Yes, that's the part. I mean, people said about the AirPods too. Like, the price though kind of worked into the value of it, and I don't know if I could say that this is it. Is this kind of like the HomePod where it was way too much money, even though the sound is tremendous on it.
Right.
Is it worth the $249? Or no, I'm sorry, it was $349. And
Yep.
is it worth that value? It's now worth, you know what it's worth now? $200. That's how much Best Buy sells it. You know, I'm hoping Apple doesn't get bit in the butt with this, because I think this is the computer replacement that I was talking about, Tim, for beginners.
Yeah.
You know, iPad touching everything, yes, everyone understands that. But now having the keyboard and the trackpad, this is going to be an expensive piece to replace. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about it, the 11-inch starts at $799, and the 12.9-inch starts at $1,000.
And that's more than a MacBook Air, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
That if you had to get the keyboard and the iPad Pro, you have to pay more money than getting a MacBook Air.
So I think if they can get the software right for that iPad and for iPads in general, those things can replace education machines so well.
Yes. And,
You know,
and they have the technology built in there with the user accounts
Absolutely.
with the education side.
You got the camera that's really good too for FaceTiming and document scanning because of the LiDAR system. You know, it's just
Ladder.
It's there. it's ready.
Yeah, I mean,
So we need the software. That's all.
yeah, well, you prove a good point. Like, it's $100 more to buy the iPad Pro 11-inch with the keyboard than to buy the new MacBook Air. That's disappointing.
That doesn't make any sense to me at all.
I don't know
I'm
who
sorry.
decided that.
That's the problem. You know, you'd have to buy an old iPad Pro and then buy this to kind of make up for it.
They're saying here that the Magic Keyboard no need to update your software. It will automatically work, even with some third-party apps.
So they have to get the
cool.
support for it, and that's the key. We obviously know Word supports it because Craig Federini already showed Excel working, which I thought was weird that they didn't show iWork, but they showed Excel.
Yeah, it is weird.
You know, but
Trying to sell it
iWork,
to businesses, you know.
yeah, iWork exactly, but iWork is supported in there, you know, which is great because I use iWork. I don't use Office at all. But you know what? This was the best part of the breaking news today. Was this? It's all about the keyboard, and the Magic Keyboard is really great tech. And I wish they would just make it a little bit more affordable and be good for all the iPads, not just the iPad Pro.
Right. Also, can I use that in my old iPad Pro? Or
Yes,
no?
you can.
You can, yes.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
then
do you have the
that
11-inch
changes
model?
things. I have the 11-inch
Yeah,
model.
so you could use it with 11-inch model.
There you go.
Ooh. But then what do I do with my old one?
That piece
My
of
old case.
that piece of crap that Apple used to have.
No. The one I have is the good one. Because it's the one that goes on the back of it. It's not the one that goes in the bottom.
yeah.
It.
No, even that one's a piece of crap. I don't like the rubber keys on that. There's no give. They suck.
I
There's
like
not
it.
even a backlit keyboard on it. It's not even backlit, and you
Yeah,
don't even
but
know
that
when
iPad's so bright
you don't
anyway.
even know when the cap lock is on anyway. Oh, shut up! Don't no way. No, you are not going to convince me that Apple's keyboard is good on that.
It's not bad. It's not good. It's
Logitech
just
makes
okay.
a better one.
It's better now.
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
It's definitely better than one that attached in the bottom that would break.
Yes,
every
I
time.
agree.
Yeah. Yep. Good segue about keyboards, huh? New MacBook Air announced with Magic Keyboard, up to 2 times faster performance and a
Thank
lower
God.
$1,000 starting price. So they updated with a faster processor and graphics card. They switched to a scissor switch Magic Keyboard, and they got rid of that butterfly keyboard that was very problematic. And that's kind of the update.
I never knew that. Did you have a butterfly keys that had issues?
But that
Now,
can be ordered as of today, and is available in space gray, silver, or gold. Silver and gold.
$8.99 for those who are getting the education discount too. So that's a pretty good deal.
That's a good deal on a computer with a good keyboard.
And no touch bar.
Yeah. Because why even have touch bar?
Yeah.
Oh, and
So-
and I should mention, drum roll, please. 256 gigabytes is the standard for the $1,000
Thank
model
God.
Oh, that's
of
good.
storage.
Yeah.
If nobody
I think next
understood
year
that.
we should expect 512 to be the standard, but that's just me.
Well, I mean, please, the standard on the Mac Pro is 256. Okay.
God,
Yeah, that's
That,
criminal.
That should be
Idiotic.
1 terabyte. I don't care what anybody says.
That is just just ease me down the cactus.
You know what it is? There'll be a parade in the streets of Cupertino if they make it 512.
If you make 512 the standard, I would go and kiss the corner of every Apple store I see. I won't do that now because
Not with the coronavirus.
New Power Beats with H1 chip and up to 15 hours of battery life is now available for $149 in the black, white, and red. These Power Beats now operate with enable hands-free Hey Siri voice commands and faster pairing with the iOS device. 15 hours of battery life and a similar design as a Power Beats Pro, but there's still a wire attached.
That's okay.
Did they have noise canceling at all?
No,
Or noise isolation?
No, those are the ones with they're the running ones, so that they typically aren't. But they're still pretty good. I still have a pair of those. They did pretty good with the sound, especially when I went to use them in the gym.
Yeah, their bass is always good.
Yeah, I'm very happy with those pairs of Beats. I think they're a pretty good pair.
But they're available to order as of Monday.
Whenever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so they had them ready to go. Okay.
Perfect segue. You can only order from an Apple retail online store right now because all Apple retail stores outside of the Greater China area are currently closed.
And that happened on Friday, right when this podcast was released. I was like, God damn it!
Yeah.
Like that. I was like, that was a perfect thing for what this podcast is all about because we're all former Apple Store geniuses and admins. You know.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's not a compliment.
That's mean.
But
This man has counted thousands of batteries.
Oh my God.
over 3,000
Don't get me
of them.
started.
Yeah. Hey,
Over 4,000 actually. But
you are literally the heart and solace of the back of that store.
Of the batteries.
but I know as of the New York, New Jersey area, all malls, restaurants, movie theaters, casinos are closed. I imagine that's for various other states out in the country, which is why all Apple stores have decided to close.
And they paid all their employees, which is awesome.
Yeah, paying for the
That's
normal
the important
hours.
part. They are paying their employees for
Yeah.
that. That is awesome.
Not to mention they gave them like awesome benefits this year, and then on top of it, they get paid off. And guess what? They get to have
It's-
off, and they don't have to do
They
anything.
don't have to do anything. Yeah.
Call me crazy. It's like the former VP of HR there is now in charge of the retail store.
What?
That's what it feels
No.
like. It's like it was her job to be awesome with HR.
Yeah. And she's good with her
so-
hands though.
Yeah, yeah.
Santa Monica Apple Store had an employee that tested positive for the COVID-19. This was confirmed on Friday of last week, and their company is now taking steps to ensure all customer safety, which has
What
led.
day was that again?
That was last Friday.
Yeah, right when they started closing all the stores.
Yep.
Well, all you need is one case inside of anywhere you work, and that's it. Game over.
Yep. Here's how long the COVID-19 virus can live on your Mac, iPhone, keyboard, or Amazon box. So they've conducted some studies, and they found that the coronavirus can last up to 24 hours on a cardboard box. It can last up to 2 to 3 days on plastic and steel. However, aluminum was not tested in this research study. So a lot of the Apple products are made of a combination of aluminum, plastic, glass, and somewhat steel, depending on which product we're talking about. So really, there's not really a recommendation, but if you are using like the Apple keyboards, like I use the Magic Trackpad and the Magic Keyboard, you should wipe those down if you feel like they've been affected because the virus can last on those surfaces for 2 to 3 days.
So if you're receiving a package, then
You
right.
should wipe it down.
I did that today. I did that yesterday.
Besides wiping it down, you should probably leave it alone for like. You can also just leave it in your garage for 3 days.
Could do that.
Right.
Yeah, if it's not something you need immediately, yeah.
Right. You're like, oh, this came in, whoop, right into the garage.
Well, I actually got a package because my work computer actually got messed up. So I had to get a whole new computer, but I wiped down the box, opened the box, wiped down the computer, wiped down the adapter. Everything was wiped down, before I touched it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the reality we're in right now. You have to wipe
Yep.
everything down.
Yeah.
You just don't know where things come from.
I hope I was going to say, I just kind of hope our standards for cleaning change after all this.
Oh,
you know?
I think they
100%.
will. Oh, I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
And to go piggyback off of that, Apple did update their cleaning recommendations to greenlight the use of disinfecting wipes on its products, but don't use any acetone or harsh solvents. But again, anytime that you're using these disinfecting wipes or any kind of cleaner product, just use it with caution. Don't submerge it. Don't overdo it.
Don't press super hard on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll crack your
and
screen.
If it is a screen, make sure you're using a recommended like type of liquid on the screen because it can destroy the coating.
Well, remember that we had an issue on the 2015 MacBook Pro models from 2012 to 2015 where the coating was coming off.
Yep.
Ammonia or alcohol.
Right, and that was just from wear and tear. That wasn't even just from,
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
that wasn't even from cleaning it. So,
Yeah.
that does happen on these, and you'll see like these weird spots on your device, and you think it's like removable, but it's not. And Apple had a program for about 3 years to cover that issue, anti-coating. In fact, a lot of times when people came into the Apple store and they had a different issue with their display, it was like, oh, you have an anti-coating problem. Oh, we'll just put onto that.
Oh, your Wi-Fi is not working because you have a dent in the corner that's messing up your antenna?
Yeah.
Oh,
wait.
you also have a coating issue.
And we'll fix that in-house for you.
It's also important to realize that they did test it with plastic and it can last 2 to 3 days on that plastic surface. And it's also important to realize that a lot of people use plastic phone covers on their iPhones and stuff like that. So make sure you're wiping your phones down, especially when you're going out to ShopRite to stock up on toilet paper. When you come back, just wipe out on your phone, wipe down any products
Your
that you're frequently
phone
touching.
is the easiest neutral
Transfer,
zone that people will always put here's the thing, I'll go to the supermarket, I'll grab a bunch of stuff, I touch my phone a few times, I put it in my pocket, I go about my day, I wash my hands, I pull out my phone. The whole point of me washing my hands has been mute if I haven't washed my phone.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we're all stuck at home, we can kind of explore the idea of trying out some free trials for different streaming services. So I can kind of go through the kind of different trial periods that you can use during your time at home. Amazon.
Ooh, there's Netflix. Was it Netflix Party, by the way? Did you guys hear about that?
I did hear about that.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
Extension.
Well, tell people about that in case you don't.
So Netflix Party is a way for you all to watch something on Netflix together, and talk about it as if you're all in the same living
And you
room.
could chat. It's pretty cool.
You can chat. It's cool. It's basically Twitch or whatever you want to call it. Any type of streaming service that you use for game and chat, but for Netflix.
Yeah.
It's a third party, and
Yeah.
congratulations to them because Netflix is going to buy that.
Yeah.
There is no way they just created their own social media within Netflix.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this company, smart move, smart thing, and Netflix is going to look at that and be like, oh, we need that. They're going to buy that from them.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
Just quickly go through the best free trials for social distancing. Amazon Prime Video, 30 days. Apple TV Plus, 7-day free trial
Or if you have
or
a
1 year
year.
with the device purchase. Disney Plus, 7-day free trial, free if you have Verizon. HBO Now, 7-day free trial. Hulu and Hulu Live TV, 30-day free trial, 7-day for live TV. Netflix, 30 days. That's pretty long for Netflix. Showtime, 7 days. Sling TV, 7 days. And Stars, 7 days.
The reason why I put that article on there is because this is the reality of what it's going to be. We're going to be watching a lot of stuff. It's almost like we're watching TGIF every TGIF Friday back in the day. Everyone stayed in back in the day and watched TGIF.
Best part about this all is on Sunday mornings or Saturday mornings.
We go to church.
We could all. That's how we spend coronavirus. So what we can do is we wake up, we get our bowl of cereal, and we watch some gargoyles.
I'm keto.
together.
I'm keto. I can't have that. How about some hard-boiled eggs?
You can't. For
Or
those
what
of you
what
listening,
you people call huevos.
for those listening, you can't see the stare of disgust that I just aimed at Will, but it was there. It was there.
He was there. He was there, everybody.
Like Power Rangers in the morning, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the morning.
Tom and Jerry.
Blank check.
I mean, sure, if you're from 1940s.
I have my WB
Yeah.
network, so I'm good, man. I can watch anything on there and be happy. But I'm also trying to figure out what I could do that, creatively. And this is where I was talking to somebody during the week, and she's a listener. And I told her, I was like, well, she was a waitress. What do you do? I said, learn another skill. Her real thing she wants to do is acting. Start a YouTube channel. Start something. Do something.
Yeah.
Try something new.
Do something new or something that you could creatively expand yourself. So right now, I'm not going to have any more weddings to edit. So immediately today, I talked to the guy I do wrestling with, who was the owner, and I said, let's start filming stuff about what we used to do in our past and just have it on camera and talk about things. So that's what we're going to do this weekend. We're going to do it from our own homes, but we're going to record ourselves talking about it. And that takes up a good amount of like an hour or two of my time. Other than that, I'm cleaning the house. Beyond that, that's all there is to do, and take my dog to the park. And that's it.
Go outside.
In your own area, not by other.
No,
people.
I went to Alaire State Park, and there were people there who were coughing and sneezing, and I'm like, why are you out right now?
Yep.
At least with me and my dog and I, we tried to stay away from a lot of people, but we were walking. It was a beautiful day. The dog was happy. Cody was a happy dog that day.
I've been building models myself.
Oh, cool.
Of me?
No, they don't make.
They don't make
models.
TLD models?
No, if they did, I'm pretty sure they'd have to burn down the store.
Well, maybe that might help the coronavirus problem by burning the store.
You're right. Cure the infection. That's all good.
So you might be helping us.
Yeah, I have a backlog of models that I've been working.
That's
on,
cool.
So
I know the puzzle business had to skyrocket, right?
Oh my God! Well, Ellen
yeah.
DeGeneres did a whole puzzle, and that just skyrocketed the puzzle business.
Yeah, there's a lot of hobby stores that are getting their shelves cleared out.
Mm-hmm.
And also, don't
Which is
forget
good.
group FaceTiming. Everybody, a lot of people forget that feature.
Yeah,
Well, that's the thing.
Really, the only time I use group FaceTime is when I do it with you guys. Beyond that, I don't think I ever really do it. Get some board games, man. This is like the 90s again when there was no Netflix. Because honestly, I'm going to get bored watching all television all the time. So having board games around, card games are fun to do. Like me and my wife, we cook together, and we haven't done that in a while because I work, I don't get home till very late. And now we're just having fun cooking together. So there's definitely things you can do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and of course, there's video games too. Let's be honest. There's
Call of Duty Warzone.
We got Call of Duty Warzone. We got Doom Eternal coming out at the end of this week, and by the end of this week, on Friday.
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing come out on Friday if you want to be a grandma. Cool. And I'm not even saying that as an insult. Like, it is actually a dream to be a grandma in that game. It is fantastic. Anyway, moving on. And then in 3 weeks, we got Final Fantasy VII Remake. Those are the big three that are coming out soon.
Well, Final Fantasy VII was awesome. The old one.
Yeah.
I just came up with an idea. This is genius. Chris, you are going to be FaceTiming live the birth of your child.
That's not
happening. It is. Absolutely, it's happening. Yeah. It is happening. I will talk to your doctor and literally make sure a camera is in that room, and I will make sure they press the live button so that the world can see the birth of your child, because we can't go visit you, but we can FaceTime, or we'll FaceTime you to keep it private.
Well, group FaceTime.
Right? But group FaceTime. And literally the angles that we could get, is truly amazing moment of life.
Wide angle lens.
It's like Zimba being shown for the first time on Pride Rock.
I have bad news. Because of the coronavirus, only one other person's allowed in the delivery room with my wife.
Is that going to be you?
Are you doing a lottery for the chances of doing it, or a scratch off, perhaps?
Actually, bingo night at the retirement home.
Well, my goal is to make sure where that bingo night is, I will be there, and I will buy as many boards as I can, so I can be the one to deliver your child.
Give him a TLD cape.
Oh, absolutely. There is so much TLD merchandise I'd be willing to give for a low, cheap cost.
Plus shipping and
Plus
My
the
handling.
daughter
sweat.
will not like any
The
of that.
sweat is
but-
definitely the number one thing, especially after babies are born. The only way to clear off your baby is a little TLD sweat.
That's the vaccine to the coronavirus.
Oh, dude! I have to start working out. I got to do a lot of working out to get a lot of.
What people don't know is that the coronavirus actually came from a bat, right?
Yeah.
And
Bat-
the bat's name was Wilhelmus.
Will, you got to drop the tidun thing, the sound bit there, the
I don't
drum.
have to do anything, man. This is my podcast.
Oh, sorry.
I don't have to do a thing you say. You know, I'm the editor. You're supposed to do the social media post and figure out our new logo. All right? So, all right, everybody. So, we're got 45 minutes. It's time to call it quits because you don't have any more news articles, do you?
Nope.
All right. So, I want to thank you all for joining us for this podcast. This was we started nice and serious, and we got to, talk about Chris's baby being born during FaceTime, and that's a good way to end it. So, I want to thank you, everybody, for joining us. Check us out on the Facebook. What's the Facebook again?
Think Different Podcast?
Thank you very much, Tim. I'm glad you knew that. Think Different Podcast also on Instagram, and check us out at Think Diff Pod on Twitter. I'm sure Tim at some point will definitely update the website whenever he wants to. And yes, we are trying to think of a different logo idea or a newer looking logo that's kind of similar because we like the current logo, but we want to make sure people know it's an Apple podcast, and we may not get that point across with our current logo. So I want to thank you all for joining us. Make sure you join us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Launchpad DM. Check us out on Amazon, Google Play, Zune, and of course, your Sony Walkman. So, Tim, any last final words?
Stay safe out there, everybody.
And Chris?
Yeah, wash your hands. You're an adult, for God's sake.
And you know what? That's a great segue to the ending of our song because this Corona song loves talking about washing your hands. Thank you very much for joining us at the Think Different Podcast. One more week and have a good week.
Peace out.
So thanks for